Before you got here, Joel looks at me and he goes,
I said she should find a girl that would like doing it.
Joel, you waited until I wasn't here.
no, yeah, Joel had a one-on-one meeting. And you know what, Joel? It was fucked up because it was only me and you.
Yeah, you did it on purpose.
They have to be like quiet, but like they're willing to say anything, you know?
Joel, I know what you did, bud. You're trying to snake your way out of this, and we're a team.
We're a team, and Joel's trying to jump off the ship.
I don't like that.
Now I feel like this is a mediation, and this is why I've been brought here this evening.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so welcome, queers of the night. Today we have severe attractive lady heartthrob, Anna. Welcome, Anna, to the program. Welcome to Wrong Sauce.
Thank you so much.
Talula's really excited for your presence.
Yes.
We're all...
And knowing nothing about me.
So excited.
No, well, I said that you guys would get along.
I'm a girl's girl.
Me too.
That's what I've been described as.
Yeah.
Why do they call you a girl's girl?
I feel like I have a really hard time holding a grudge against a femme girl. I just can't do it.
Okay, masks
Something
for sure,
inside
but
of
femme
me
girls, no.
feels, yes.
When people say sorry, do you accept very quickly?
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. Somebody could hit me over the head with a bat and they're like, I'm really sorry I did that. Like, it was so out of character. I'm like, oh my God, I know.
I came between you and wherever you were trying to hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually leads me into a wonderful story that I would love to talk about of when you were hit by an F-150 in Chicago.
What?
Yeah,
it was
and-
just a few months ago.
And then you spider claw femmed up
These paws.
Spider Woman. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Please explain the scenario.
I was walking across the street in Chicago,
Chicago.
which I've heard Chicago has full drivers. LA has idiot drivers. So choose the assholes, because idiots, you can kind of dictate. You're like, oh, that person looks like they don't know how to drive. They might hit you.
Yeah.
Assholes are just off the charts. So I was walking across the street, 8 a.m., beautiful Friday morning, Chicago. I have extra time before my flight. I'm like, I'm going to go grab myself a coffee.
Yeah.
Halfway through the crosswalk, I see this F-150. It was a huge red F-150. It was like lifted. It still had the temp plates on.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is happening. And it's not slow motion. But in my head, I remember my dad being like, you know, when you hit a deer, because we grew up in the middle of nowhere a lot of the times, he was like, if you hit a deer, just hit it head on and hit it hard and hope that it goes over the top of your car. Don't stop, because you could cause, damage to the vehicle, which I think was important to him. And I just was like, I'm a deer in this moment. So I
Be one
jumped
with the deer.
on the hood, because I figured then the momentum would carry me to the side, and it did.
And you went hoof up?
Yeah, it was kind of these 3 digits.
You had three hoof as you did the jump?
And then it just a swing of the leg.
Did they stop?
No.
No, it was a hit and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a crime.
But I thought, the crazy thing is, the first phone call that I made was to the hotel, because I was like, I'm not going to check out on time.
Yeah.
I got hit by a car.
Yeah, this is
And
why I
she was like, oh my
God.
gosh, are you okay? I'm like, oh, totally fine. So the ambulance picks me up and was making jokes left and right all the way there, the whole mile. And they just didn't think I was funny at all.
You said it was one of your best stand-up routines.
It was really good. But I also could have been in shock, you know? But at one point, they're like, we might need to cut your bra. I was like, get me a drink first, And they were like, no, ma'am, this is serious. Like, we need to take your bra off. I was like, I can take it off myself then. But yeah, I made a phone call to the hotel.
Apologizing.
I wasn't going to be able to check out of my room.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to be on time.
I'm not going to make it on time.
And the manager comes out and she's like, there's this lady got hit by a car in front of our hotel today. And I thought, I good thing it wasn't you. And I was like, that was me. I got hit.
That was me.
All
I
that
made
activity. But I'm telling you, the trauma of being in a trauma center with having 20 people over you being like, pull. They check every crevice. They go inside.
You're
in the cavities.
They didn't do that to me.
Joel's like, I wanted it.
Where were you? How did you get hit?
Well, I fell off my bike, but like really bad to where like I broke my nose, I broke
Joel.
my forehead, I broke my neck. The ambulance was there, but I wouldn't let them take me because
It's expensive.
Struggling musician, no insurance, doesn't want to stay on the pod.
That's yeah.
So you are, from what I know, traditionally one of the queers that has been hard to capture. Would you say so?
Yes, I would. Yeah, hard to keep.
Okay, hard
Capture's
to
a little
keep.
different.
Too aggressive. I'm aggressive.
I'm a huge experience advocate.
Okay.
Welcome the
For the plot.
entertain things, but then there's
Adventure.
there should be motive involved, but really it's just basic needs that I have. So
Okay. What are those basic needs that you have?
we're gonna talk about that. I get a little angsty, a little angry when I don't have certain stimulation.
Biblical relations.
Biblically.
I get a little overwhelmed with life.
Okay. So you need what we call sweet release.
Sweet release.
Sweet release.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You have a need for extreme sweet release. So you go out there in these queer streets and you have biblical relations with individuals that then fall massively in love with you.
Well,
And then at that point, you discard them
And you have to go.
because at that point, it's not really what you're searching for.
no, I mean, it's definitely more than that. I think that I tend to attract a certain kind of person who's,
Emotional queer.
yeah, a little more on the soft side. But I dipped back into men, recently.
Because you are, what is it?
It's spectrasexual.
I need help.
What is spectrasexual?
So, as most things, it's a little different for everyone.
This is some new.
Yeah.
My version of it is I'm attracted to a lot of different genders, but not all genders.
Okay.
Which is the traditional like pansexual
Yeah.
you've heard, and not to say that pansexuals identify with being attracted to all genders, but spectrasexual is like, it's like a little amuse-bouche of everything.
Be specific, because I'm really confused.
Yeah. So varying levels of physical and emotional attraction to gender. So like a cis man, for instance,
Okay.
sexually attracted. Emotionally, the second he does his thing, I'm like unattracted to him as an emotional being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Then we have
Then we have other genders,
Queers.
which for me is just the queers, general.
general queers. And with the
Post.
queers, is there a percentage?
Specificity.
Yeah. Well, like you're like, oh, I'm,
Yeah.
more emotionally attracted to this type of queer and physically more attracted to this type of queer. Is there a breakdown or
There
does
is. I'm more into mask presenting people
it? Okay.
on the spectrums of queer.
Okay.
So that could be trans, that could be non-binary, that could be lesbian, but a little more of the masculining.
Okay. So what is a soft mask? You engage with this type, right?
Correct.
Okay. What is it?
They tend to have some emotional responsibility in some way for
Okay.
being with a femme person, but they tend to overcompensate sometimes with certain elements of their presentation. So they're a little bit more masked, but maybe in the bedroom, you don't feel that same energy.
So they could be like a bottom.
They could be.
They could be.
There is
They front
no,
as top, but they are bottom. Is that it?
there is no prediction.
They front as bottom, but they are top.
They could be.
It's a crapshoot.
It's
like
elusive.
Las Vegas. You never know.
Okay, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's general though.
Usually when you open a Cracker Jack box, you know what the toy's going to be at the bottom.
What is it normally?
It's a figurine.
Yeah, it's some sort of army figurine.
Yes. Good job.
Thank you. Usually, right? But
Usually.
sometimes on a rare occasion,
Yes.
you may get like,
Nothing. Sometimes there's nothing in there.
No, it literally is the platter that opens with nothing.
Sometimes nothing.
Yeah.
and so you get into what we would call now traditionally as situationships, usually.
Yes, but gray areas for me, danger.
What
Because
do you
I
mean?
don't know my parameters, and therefore I might interpret things differently. Like my version of being in a situationship is different than someone else's.
What's your version of being in a situationship? What does that look like for you ideally?
In the past, a situationship has been with an individual that maybe you don't see a future with, but something draws you in.
Yeah.
Something keeps you involved in their sweet, what did you call it?
Sweet release.
Release
Yeah.
of the love. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't want to put any more of your effort and resources into that.
And what is it usually that calls you to these people? Is it that you're like, oh, they're funny, so I'll hang out with them right now? Or, oh, I'm just sexually attracted to them, so I'll hang out with them right now? Or, because I feel like you're talking about a lot of general terms, but we're really not getting into specifics.
Oh,
We're skating around a lot of things.
we are.
And I want to get off the ice.
Okay. All right. So with situationships,
Yeah.
I mean,
What is it? Like, you
I
give
think
us an
there-
example. Like, oh, I found a person and I was attracted to this. Really take us into your life here, sweet vixen.
I'm sorry.
Last situationship, maybe.
I think it looked different from me than the other person, but I think
We're not talking about their experience.
I think it's
Although we respect your experience,
very much.
you're not here today.
It's not about you.
Even in certain situations, you can have a love for somebody. You can have this like thought that maybe it would evolve into something else. But when there's not growth on that side, it's kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just do the tango here for a while until that.
I feel like it means like biblically you're interested. That's how it starts, maybe.
Right. What is up with this biblical? Where
Because
did we
we'll
come
get
from?
flagged.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Shall we say biblical?
I understand. Okay. You guys did not give me notes.
I didn't know until
I
just
didn't
now.
come with a list.
Yeah, so we say get biblical.
Okay.
Or relations.
Again,
you can say relations, have relations.
I just went to a Creed concert, so biblical
I love
is
Creed.
very different for
I
me.
love Creed.
I am now a part of a cult.
Yeah.
I love Creed.
It's really worth talking about.
I know that's like not what we're talking about, but
Okay, so in a situationship, you're saying that you could develop feelings and emotions strongly, but you just are like, I can't end up with you like as a life partner.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But they're madly in love with you.
You know, like at night when you just like grease yourself up
yes.
as a girl's girl, you know.
What do you mean grease yourself
You
up?
have to load at night. You know, it's like, you
Yes.
get greased up.
With
You-
what?
Layers of ointment that cost way more than they should.
Your full body.
Lathered.
Everything.
Yes.
But that's how it is in a situationship. It's like you kind of like do all of the things that you're supposed to do in hopes that like the next day you're going to feel and look great. And sometimes you don't, you know?
It's true.
And then you change up that serum.
So you're like, I need to use different products.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
And a situationship sometimes allows you the freedom to do that, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's what I tend to accidentally get myself into in a way.
Right. Because do you like put rules and boundaries in the beginning? Like, are you one of those girls that's like, look, this isn't going to be anything, like a true player, right? That's like, but like a responsible one. That's
I was
like,
going to say,
hey,
that sounds like a great kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
But a responsible one that's like, hey, we're going into this.
Yeah.
I don't want anything from you, but we can have a fun time. We can have love for each other,
Yeah.
but it's just not going to go anywhere.
See, I tend to get that towards me, but really they mean something completely different.
Yeah. Like they front. It's
They're like,
fronting.
I'm not gonna fall in love with you.
Yeah.
I was like, great, let's do this. Let's continue on. And then they end up falling, and then you're in this weird situation of sorry.
Yeah, no, I've
You
heard
know?
of this legend where it's kind of like these boys that you meet and they're like, yeah, it's cool. Like, it's all good, girl. Like, I'm not going to fall in love with you.
I'm into whatever you're into.
It's cool. Like,
Yeah.
no big deal. And then you're like, oh, that's awesome. I can just f you and nothing can happen. And then they basically are crying and wailing for you to return home and you never do.
You call it ripping of the face?
I do. So yeah,
Face
what
coming
I
off.
call the face rip.
Face rip.
Yeah, which is where
difference.
essentially somebody presents themselves as one way. To me, usually this happens with the female. That's what I engage with.
Yeah.
So they present one way and it seems all fine and dandy. It can come in all different forms, all different shapes and sizes. And then one day they just face rip. And then you're like, holy shit, who is this person?
Right.
Because this isn't what you advertise yourself as.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and I think a lot of people do that where they're like, oh, I have to put on my best self for this person. And that's why what I do.
That's exhausting.
It is.
Wouldn't that be?
And that's why I just go just balls deep. Day one, I give you unabashed, like raw, savage tip. You know, you will smell my gas. You will hear my inappropriateness. And like, you either like it or you don't.
Yeah. Saves time.
You can only bottle it up for so long. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is you can only hide yourself for so long. It will come out. Now, here's the scary part.
Of the face rip.
I've seen it hidden for 1 year, 2 years. I've even seen it hidden for 3 years.
No, dude.
And then they rip.
That
and then
feels
you're
to me
left.
like a rescue dog.
Yeah.
You know, you just have no idea.
They just turn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the worst nightmare that you have ever experienced. Could you imagine? People get married before then. Could you imagine you're married 2 years and then all of a sudden at year 3, this happens.
Yeah.
It's scary out there.
This is,
Atrocity.
What we call queer crimes.
yes.
Queer crimes. and they happen.
But you're a very authentic specimen.
You have to be.
Authenticity.
But you do this, right? You show you're raw, your tits out, your flaps out. Yeah, we're not going to cause attention to your full salute nipples, but I did see them, yeah.
I have PCOS. Me too. Real? Is that why?
No, there's a lot of problems, but I don't think that that's one of them. Yes, we have a lot of problems, but that's not one of them.
Hard
yet.
nipples at full salute is
I think
not.
that's honestly just because like you're hot and you're lucky.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm like, they won't be going anywhere anytime fast. They've settled. They're so small that they're there. And where they are is where they will stay.
It's good.
Yeah, it's so good because gravity won't. So you get into situations with these masks, but do you find yourself getting into situationships with friends?
It's usually before I've embarked on any biblical relations, if that were to happen, which actually throws me through a loop because I'm like, you have no idea if we have any chemistry. You don't even, I could be a terrible kisser and you're in love with me. I mean, that seems
Oh, so they fall in love pre-lick.
pre any, yeah.
But you catch it early is what I'm gathering. It's like you catch it before it, escalates and you are able to keep the friend.
No, that would be great.
I wrote a story. I don't know.
I like that version of events. No, but that's tough though, because then you have to lose a friend
Yeah.
over a fictitious sensation that they're having. It's like a one-sided.
So you find that a lot of people create stories of how you guys have been in a torrid love affair with you without it ever existing.
Reality creations, perhaps. Yeah.
I get it, dude. I mean, you have a je ne sais about you that people just want to infest you with their sweet love and devotion. And so, there's a lot of weirdos out there, a lot of freak shows.
But what if one of those is a good one? That's why I'm like experience advocate.
Yeah.
You're like, try it for the one time.
Try them out. But
So you've never fucked your friends?
no.
Wow. First timer.
Yeah, it's good.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of people we talk to, they just
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall, les out with
No,
their
it's
friends. They
usually
go
like
hard
a-
les.
And then it's really bad. The stories we've heard.
My terror comes before the lick even happens.
Pre-lick.
which is, it just, again, I'm like, we could be so incompatible biblically incompatible.
Or, in our relationship style.
In our relationship. And then what? Like, would the love crumble or would it persevere?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you say that you're more dominant in these situations? Yeah, are you like a dominant femme?
I think after the hook, yeah. But not initially.
You're like, capture me, and then you're like, "Ugh."
That seems right.
Now I gotcha. Sweet mask.
But no, I do feel like the dom part.
Like you make the plans, you go and like, you're like, we're going to dinner here.
I like full attention. I'm like, if I'm on my phone, I can't take in any other information. I'm same with relationships. Like if I'm with the person, I want to be present. But then when I'm not, I'm pretty
checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I feel like it's pretty common. I'm just saying that because I do it.
Yeah.
I want it to be common.
Right.
I'm like, it's so common. Everybody is that way.
Everyone's that way. No, apparently not.
Yeah, maybe not. Come to think of it, probably not. But I'm similar. I do relate. I like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when you're in front of me, you're there. And then when you're not, you're not. I forgot about you.
Right.
I don't know. No spitting.
No. Not on this one.
Do you think there's a difference between, have you been in love with a straight guy?
No.
Ever?
No, infatuated. But I don't know. It's going to sound terrible. But with cis men specifically, after they complete their moment of ecstasy,
Yeah.
I'm like immediately turned off.
So you have what is called post-nut clarity.
But
you have female post-nut.
No, but I'm like, is it PCOS?
It could be.
I'm like, I start to look at them like a weak little being. And I'm like, I don't want to look at my partner and make them inferior in my brain. That doesn't say.
What makes it seem like they are a weak little being in that moment?
I'm like, oh, you finished? Oh. It's like, of course you did. And I shouldn't feel that way. And I don't feel that way in my career relationships. I've never had a finishing moment.
Where you're like, get up, peasant.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm like, the post-care is stronger in those. But with cis men, I'm like, you done? Can we move on now?
So is there a difference in your effort level?
No, I think it's pretty
Okay.
It's pretty full force, which I think could be confusing for people. That's where maybe I get myself into trouble.
So the cis men also fall in love with you madly as well.
There's also nothing wrong with it. Sorry, people fall in love with me.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like,
nothing wrong.
sorry, I'm attractive and a great person.
But then I'm also disappointed when I can't keep them in the repertoire.
You like a roster.
I would too.
I'd like to keep them
As
around.
mementos or for your roster?
No,
Your
as
serial killer trinkets?
as moments when I feel able to entertain again.
Do you keep mementos, keepsakes from them?
I don't. I know some people have like a
Some
box.
people do
Some
that.
people
They have
have
like
a
a
box.
And I feel, no, I guess I have a box of like people who I would consider my partner, but not like situationships.
Okay,
Lock
but
of
people
hair.
that you loved, you're like, this is their hairbrush. And
Maybe a card or something.
That seems intimate.
I save everybody's cards, but
You
I could
do?
imagine.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes sense. Yeah, for me, that, I don't know. If I really want to recall something, I guess photos. But
Yeah.
I have a hidden folder. And I
Yeah.
use the hidden folder for those.
okay. Do you date in the cis men community? Or are you just a fucker?
I guess kind of a fucker. Yeah, but I tapped back into it after like 8 years of not.
Oh, so you had a hiatus and then you went back into the game.
8 years of my prime, too.
You're still in your prime, babe.
Yeah, 100%.
But I felt like they were pretty easy entry. I needed a break from dating, and I knew that I wasn't going to fall for a cis man.
yeah.
What kind of cis man are you into?
Softer.
Softer. So more like, yeah,
Maybe
this is.
peso pluma.
Definitely softer. Like Scott Stapp, like older,
You like older.
Softer.
softer.
But when they're done fucking you, what do they have to be like?
Well, then they're like, let me fold your clothes. Let me take care of you. And I'm like, do not.
So they act like a lesbian and you're like,
Yes.
now is when I don't
Now
need
is
you to
when
be.
I'm
So you want them to
unattracted.
be mean after sex?
No, just a man.
Just avoidant, honestly.
Maybe soft looking. I'm like speaking for you. Maybe soft looking.
Like approachable.
yes, approachable,
They're very
but like a
approachable
man.
men, but they're usually ones who have been in really long-term relationships with women. Because
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, there's no work needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been
They've
trained.
been trained.
Okay.
Yes. Not to say that the behaviors aren't awful sometimes, but the makeups are so much better.
Yeah. Less to teach.
You know?
So with queers, right,
Mhm.
I'm assuming you go into strap sex, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, is there a specific type that you prefer when you use? Well, you're not. I don't know. Do you use? You use.
I do.
You use, you'd be used.
I use be used.
You use E.
Use S.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a specific type as in a brand?
Not the strap. I mean the harness.
Oh. Okay, that's very different.
Yeah, yeah.
For me wearing or for a partner.
For a partner.
For a partner, doesn't matter to me. It's kind of like hair in a way for
Right.
that region. I'm like, how you keep it is how you keep it. And if I've entered into this relationship, I would accept the whole being. Unlike, I know that you have particular standards.
It's not that I have standards. I have bush preference. I do. I have bush preference.
not a crime.
Preference.
It's not a crime. And in fact,
And I don't.
I'm mating with someone currently, and it's hilarious because when she has her bush even a bit grown out, she'll mention it and she'll be like, I've seen your podcast. I know how you like it. And I have to maintain myself. And I'm like, it's a preference. It's not a crime, but like, yes, it's a preference. Although I do appreciate, her for
Yeah, I was
doing
going to
that.
say the fact that she even
Yeah, I love that.
notes that.
Yeah, I
too.
love. Yeah, hot. It's incredible. Shout out. But for you, any bush is acceptable. Let's say it was growing down to like the knee. In a Fu Manchu.
Is that humanly
Let's say it is.
possible?
Okay, but let's say it was a long hang.
Yeah.
You would be like, I accept you, sweetie, whatever you want. And you would spread
I would, yeah.
you're a bush rider.
Yeah, but
What we call
again-
a bush rider.
Texture, in that moment, I was like, hands would have to be used.
Oh, you want them to spread themselves.
No, I was saying for me, I just did a wrap of what I imagined.
In the bush.
Yes.
Yeah, you would
Like a little
open the.
pigtail situation.
Okay.
Curtain open.
It's not a potato chip bag, Tippy.
It can be. I don't know.
It
I'm
could
just
be
visualizing. You don't know
little
what's going to be out
crinkly.
there, dude.
You don't. And you don't know until you get below the curtain, quite literally.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
No, you never know. And you just, sometimes you dive with wild abandon.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned the harness because a lot of people have been talking about the boxer harness
Yeah.
for the strap versus the old traditional. So you personally don't have a preference.
It could be strappy. It could be to the knee, if that's a preference.
So you don't mind the
I do
difference
like
in
a
material.
little bit of the ass grab.
Okay, so you like to grab
Parts.
ass.
Or if it was at least tight enough to feel the curvature of it.
Skin
Because
tight.
I use that. That's momentum.
Yeah.
You use it to press into you.
Correct.
Oh, interesting. Because you're not what we call a lazy bottom.
No.
Okay.
Active.
And then do you have preference when you are using it on a partner?
Definitely more femme version.
So you're not
of a
going to go for the
holster.
boxer.
No, I have. And that's great functionally.
I don't find that it's great
but-
functionally.
Really?
Yes. So here's what I think. if you really want my opinion.
I do.
We do.
So a lot of masks prefer using the boxer harness. However, I feel for control, if you're really doing things that require positioning and angling of your strap,
Right.
you need full control. And you don't get that with the boxer.
You got to have a solid connection at the base.
Correct. And so with the
Am I right?
well, it needs to be skin, like not it needs to be more skin tight than you think. So the boxer is literally just skin tight, but I need it to be tighter than that so that when I angle down.
Do you use the strappy ones?
Oh yeah.
The ones that go under the buttocks and
I
then
need
over?
full control.
See, that's great. Again, but then, I think that in certain positions, certain humans can feel a little vulnerable.
Yes. So
have
here's
that
the thing.
exposed.
So there's a different versions, right? There's ones that usually they make them in a thong. But if you go on websites, you can find a more
Do you use the
kind
thong one?
No. So there's ones that are more like go more like a jock strap.
Is that like assless chaps vibes?
It's like an assless
Kind
chap
of.
vibe.
That's
yeah.
what I'm visualizing.
And so that is what I find to have the most control for
And
myself.
you feel the sexiest.
For me, it's about control. I don't care. Like, I want to be, I mean, I don't want anything in my ass besides maybe your tongue,
Oh.
for sure. But
They should make a suction cup one. That's like, dook.
Well, certain ones can be suctioning, not the holster itself, but the apparatus.
for sure.
Or holes or grips or little jagged edges for
Yeah, there's a whole new world out there.
honestly, and the reviews. I mean, if you watch those reviews, you're like, I feel like I need to watch an OnlyFans of this being used because your description of it is very elementary and I'm not.
Yeah.
I need it in action.
Yeah, I need a visual.
Yeah.
That's actually a great idea to have an OnlyFans review real time.
Oh, there are people who are doing it, I'm sure.
I don't know about
I haven't
that.
heard of it. I think you might be onto something.
I will be the ASMR reviewer
Oh, that would be even better.
of it.
Watch as Chris puts on his strap
Yes.
and enters the sweet woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could work.
Could be something.
Alrighty. I mean, new adventures for all of
there's
us.
things for everyone.
But you also, I think it depends on the heft of the apparatus too.
Well, it depends on your strap, right? So it depends how big, how weighty of a strap. And so
Right.
when you are dealing with
How many
larger,
features are
Can we
involved?
order one?
what do you mean?
Can we order it so
Order
Joel and
what?
I could see it?
I think we should
strap?
do that.
Oh, we've done an episode where we see all of my
Don't go
12
there.
straps.
Don't go there.
Well, maybe again. Like,
I'd like to be involved.
yeah, like I would like to see it again.
That's for the Patreon.
Yeah, because
No, look.
obviously
If you compare a real peepee, the weight
the weight of a peepee. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Say peepee again.
versus size, like say it's a 6-inch peepee,
Yeah.
right? You weigh it.
Weigh it?
Yeah, you
You're
somehow
putting
you,
on a scale.
I don't know, somehow you weigh it. You
Yeah.
need like a really good scale.
Yeah.
And then
Accurate.
you get the same size of the other thing, the
Yeah.
strap,
Yeah.
and you weigh that. I feel like all the straps are going to be way heavier than a real
Yeah, they're
thing.
going to have more density because
But
the way
that's
that
the
they do it.
problem when you attach it,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
No, the buoyancy is completely different.
Completely.
But you need the rigidness for it to
You're onto something.
connect to your
You-
body
well,
and
yeah.
the way that you want it to.
Also, just pro tip.
Yeah.
If you
pro
want it
tip.
to be better, throw it in the microwave for a couple of seconds and make it warm.
Oh, wow.
Wait, I'm sorry. No one has ever treated me.
Snoop does that with his blunts.
Do what Snoop does with his blunts with your
Yeah.
dildos.
So
That's pro tip.
pro tip, throw it in the microwave and get a little bit of heat in there and it makes it feel a bit more realistic.
Wait, how many seconds?
Not many. Don't fry it.
Rubber.
Don't fry it.
I'm
I don't know what
sorry.
I'm not going to say what seconds because I don't know your microwave.
Yeah, that's like, we're not telling you to do it.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah,
Ideally, you have a mini microwave in your bathroom
Yeah.
that could be smart too.
for the changeover.
Pro tip.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also a miniature enthusiast, so now I'm destined to find you a miniature microwave that is just for this purpose.
Oh, you like miniatures?
Oh
I
my
find that
gosh, are you
attractives like
kidding?
you tend to like miniature things.
Yeah, I know a few attractives that do really like miniature.
Psychologically, I'm sure it has to do with
Attractiveness?
well, maybe control over a smaller thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting. I like that approach. So you're now in a successful relationship, you could say.
Yeah.
Did you have a list of what you were looking for?
I did. I had a non-negotiable list.
That's good.
You were very intentional about finding a mate.
I mean, manifestation, you're supposed to
Yes,
write it
yes.
down. You're supposed to, read it to yourself in the mirror. And I didn't do that part, but I did write it down. And I found that I only had 4 non-negotiables.
What are they?
Yeah, I gotta know.
Number 1, intimacy over physical. Like I have to want to be intimate with you.
But what does intimate look
It's
like?
like a little booty grab throughout the day. A little grab of the face, It's like it's more of like an energetic feeling. Doesn't mean you have to be having sex all the time, although we know that's
So you have to feel like they desire you throughout the day.
mutually. There's
Yeah.
a longing, of intimacy. Number 2 has to have drive for something. It doesn't have to be what they actually do at work, but have some like ambition, some drive for something. It could be building miniature trains. That could be your thing.
Right.
You work a day job so you can do that at night. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 has to have a healthy relationship. This is a deep one. Healthy relationship with alcohol.
Oh,
That's good.
Mhm. Yeah. I want to be able to have a little sip at the end of the day with my partner. And then 4 has to be able to float in social settings.
ooh.
I'm not responsible
Yeah.
for you in a social setting. You can kind of manage yourself.
Mm.
Not to say, I mean, if you're uncomfortable, yes, let me know. But I am not doing babysitting. I'm not worried that you're going to make a fool
Mm.
Yeah.
or make someone uncomfortable. That was a 4th.
I like that one.
Me too.
I mean, obviously, the current partner hit all of them.
Right.
But I found that wasn't sufficient, because my partner had 21. And I just was like, I have 4 for you.
It worked.
It did. But then I feel like I've been adding on
Oh, okay.
since then, like little tinges of things.
But I feel like that's the best part of being with a partner, right? Is like when you find that person, you guys push each other to get better.
Yes.
So like even if it's not every single thing, like those 3 were really important, like non-negotiables.
Right.
The rest comes with time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
And so, do you have any dating advice? Because I feel like you've been pretty successful and pretty loving in your relationship. Do you have any dating advice for others on how to do it?
I mean, I know everyone says communication, but then they don't actually do it.
Mm.
We have daily check-ins.
Okay,
At
what
the
does
end
that
of the
look
day,
like?
because as we know,
Yeah.
if you're like on a work trip or you're working during the, I work a 9 to 5, okay, and sometimes that can be like a 6 to 6, just depends.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to have to be, hey, how are you? Small talk throughout the day. I'm like, I want.
I actually hate that. I hate it.
And I'm not very good at it either.
No, I hate it. It feels not natural to me.
Yeah, I'm like,
doing
let me
what
give
I'm
you a
doing.
sprinkle.
But what is small talk?
Hi, what's up? I'm at work, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
You
isn't
know
it
what I'm
just
doing.
isn't it just like call me when you're free or have something to say?
There are freaks. There are fucking freaks that will text throughout the day and get upset. It's like they're attached to the tit. Leave me alone. I'm working. I want to be with you. I want to talk to you when I'm done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's object permanence. Maybe it's like maybe I have an issue and it's like I want my space. But when I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm not, I want to talk to you. I don't want to have to feel like I have to.
Correct.
Yeah, hell no.
And I want those funny moments throughout the day. I'm like, give me the like mundane stuff at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Be like, this thing happened and it was hysterical. Great.
Yeah.
I want to know those tidbits when I have the capacity to actually.
Fully get it.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if something funny happens to you, like text me if I'm available.
For sure.
I'll see it.
But no expectation
No.
that you will respond
Never.
immediately.
Yeah.
Never.
You know what? I will say one of our things we went into it with was high hopes, no expectations.
Love
but let
that.
me tell
Yeah,
you that
it's
has changed. Now it's some expectation. You know,
Yeah.
like I expect something, some level of human decency.
Right. Well, you started off in this relationship as a terrible text communicator.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
relate.
Absolutely awful. Like days, hours, just kind of leaving. Because if
Days left unread.
okay, it was a day.
I would die.
That's insane behavior.
Okay, so let me revisit what I was saying.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, after thinking about it, What I don't respect and what I don't fucking like, I don't care, F-bomb, it's serious. This is a hot take, I don't care. It's like, don't go MIA for like 3 days. And I've been guilty of it myself too.
Yeah.
But like what I expect, right, is like exactly what you're saying. It's like a daily check-in or whatever. Let me know you're alive. I care about you. I don't have to be attached to your nipple, but I care.
Right.
You know, don't
Does
go
it have to be at night?
Yeah.
Is there a time? Does it have to be at night?
by 8 p.m. 8 p.m. even kind of feels weird if you're off at 6. It's just like, let me know you're alive. And like, if we talk, we talk. And if we don't, we don't. But like you were saying, like no pressure. I want to feel that comfortability, but also don't go for 2 days and be like, what do you mean?
Right.
This
and
never
obviously that
bothers
was
you.
in the beginning when I was like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
just going to
yeah,
be,
you're
this is going to
figuring
be
it
a
out.
casual thing.
Yeah,
And I'm
you're
like,
figuring
I
it
don't
out.
have time to waste on that.
It's earned, right? That's how I
Correct.
feel. It's earned. Like if this is going somewhere, it's earned. But don't go away for like 5 days and then be like, what are you upset about? What do you mean, what am I upset about?
You've experienced this.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
I mean, honestly, not with me because like, you know how I text. I'm like, what the fuck is up? Like I
you
will
go.
text.
Yeah, you go hard.
Yeah, I will call. I don't care. I'm like a FaceTimer, but I've definitely seen with friends, especially too, where it's like, I've heard this happen and I get upset for them. Where like, you know, whoever they're seeing just like goes MIA for like days and then they're complaining about it or like whatever.
Why not just text and be like, hey, where are you?
Yeah.
Why are you MIA?
They get kind of crazy too, though, which I've noticed. And then also I'm like, what's wrong with you? Just call them. But it's this weird thing where like, I can't. And it was when we were younger, but it was something that I remember I would take like on from their relationships of like, that's so fucked up. Like, it's not good. I don't know. For me, it's like, you can't do that.
Hard rule.
Hard rule.
So you need nightly check-ins.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've referred to them as crotch talk time. CTTs.
CTT.
So throughout the day, I'll like add a little zinger in there with just one word. So then you kind of get excited because you're like, ooh, what is this one about? You know? I got a lot of girl names the other day and I was like, this is going to be spicy. You know?
What do you mean girl names?
Like just 3 different girls' names.
And you know you're going to talk about it later.
And I was like, oh man.
you text your partner the girl's name
That's it.
and nothing
no
else.
context. And that gets me going because I'm coming up with these alternate realities of who is this person? I want to know.
I'm going to steal that.
It's great.
So it's like Jessica.
Yes. With no context.
And you text this or they do?
Well, they did in this particular situation.
And you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to listen.
But sometimes I'll just text like intrusive thought. And then the entire day, they're like, what?
Yeah.
What was this one thought that you had?
But for me, I have memory. Like, so like if I write intrusive thought and I don't write down what the intrusive
is?
thought is, I will forget by the evening.
That has happened. We've written CTT items and then come into Lotus to talk about them at the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah, I wrote that one down. I have no idea why that one came and passed. Yeah.
I really do like that.
I do like that
It's
too.
great because there's no responsibility for you throughout the day
Yeah.
to be updating them on these things. You look forward to it.
And now, what's your stance on open relationships? This is something that's very, very prevalent and trending.
I want to attribute it to online dating because there's so many options. We're giving so many options throughout. I mean, even as queers, as a spectrasexual, I'm like, I've got a lot of options within the queer community that I'm attracted to.
So have you engaged in open relationships?
I have.
Have you engaged in poly?
I was a third in a situation where there was a primary, it was a cis couple.
We just learned about primary.
We did.
Oh, good. Cis couple. And I was so attracted to this man specifically because he had boundaries. I was like, that is so hot. Like you and your partner came up with these very specific things. Like we can't do these certain acts. That
Like what?
for me was a huge
Wait,
turn
you
on.
couldn't do what?
I was allowed to go down on him,
Okay.
but he could not go down on me. And for me, I was like, this is fantastic because I know that you're holding this like little part for your partner. And for me, that really turned me on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's so respectful.
It's so respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you liked that respect
And I liked
that
it.
he
And
had.
then he had like a phone call during the middle of a session once. He's like, I'm so sorry, it's my partner. And he had like a Australian accent. And I was like, you go.
You answer that call.
You answer, or I
answer.
will.
Yeah.
Because I'm a girl's girl. Yeah. I'm going to be like, hey, babe, everything's fine.
So she wasn't involved in the sex.
No. She was, they're in an open relationship or an ethical non-monogamous relationship as another term.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it was very ethical, again, because it was like he told me the boundaries first date. And I knew we could only go on 3 dates because that was their boundary. But I remember when I showed up to this date, and it was a Hinge date.
Yeah.
And you never know what you're going to get. And this was when I was freshly dipping my toes back into cis men biblicalness. And I walk up to this bar and I see this man, bald man, 6 silver hoops on one ear, white cowboy hat, white crisp t-shirt, vintage boots,
Whoa.
a 1 foot tall sketchbook, leather bound. The audacity this man had to bring a sketchbook that was just collaged. Like it was so thick
Wow.
that he had to hoist it up to the bar counter, I'm sure. And then he had an extra dirty gin martini waiting.
Wow.
He turned around and he was like, hello, love. And I was like, oh, you're fucking Australian. Cool. That wasn't in your profile. So he had all of these features and he drove this vintage Ford truck that I was sure we were going to. I didn't even know if he had a home, but at that point I didn't care.
Yeah, I was going to say, who fucking cares?
This is exciting. But he had a studio that he used just for the purpose of sex, but there was also like 6 rescue cats there.
What a vibe.
He was very, very prepared for this. And I remember when he dropped his jeans, he didn't have underwear on. And I was like, chafing? Is that a thing?
I know a guy who does
Can you
that.
imagine being in the jeans that you're in right now with no underwear underneath?
Yeah, Joel doesn't do laundry sometimes.
Got it. Well,
He's like, I prefer it.
I was unaware of this as a thing that you do. And he dropped, and I remember just looking at him and being like, that's not going to work.
No way. This guy sounds perfect.
Yeah, he
that's
sounds
what
like
I'm
a great
saying.
time.
It was a great time. And so with that like ethical non-monogamous situation, I was like, there's definitely ways to do it and do it well.
Wow.
I enjoyed that experience.
How did it end? Did you just leave? You were like, all right.
Well, I had a phone call by his partner halfway through the session. He's like, I'm so sorry, I have to go. And I was like,
And you loved it.
well, and he goes, but you can sleep here if you want. I was like, I'm good. I'm not going to sleep in like a studio that I had to just hike up a side of a mountain to get to with like 6 rescue cats. But
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, I think I'll leave
I was
now.
Like, can you actually take me back to my car? Yeah. That would be great.
Call me an Uber Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some rules that you've had though in your open relationships?
Well, there's certain acts that are very sacred for me.
Okay.
So I'm like, don't embark on those with somebody else. But beyond that, I think we have like geography is definitely one.
Oh, so you're saying they can engage in things, but it can't be in
LA.
Within
Okay.
the immediate vicinity, which I don't know. I think that's like a safer.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, you do it when you travel.
Yeah, I don't have to be like,
Run into them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would want to strike up a conversation and befriend the person. And that probably
And then-
wouldn't bode
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you know? So
And then kill them.
no,
I would.
No, not even.
And then so
I think I'd be like, do you want them more than I do? Do you want them? Am I in your way?
are they allowed to have emotional relationships with other people?
No.
Because then that would be considered polyamory.
Hard no. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gathering.
That's like the multiple times too, like that one experience
Yeah.
that I was just describing. They weren't going to develop emotional relationships with people because of the parameter of not being able to continue past a couple of dates.
I see.
So do you have a thing where it's like, oh, you can't engage with this person more than twice, or what would it be for you?
I don't know if there'd be a number.
For me, it would be 0.
Yeah, me too.
I think if it's multiple times, though, it's riskier to develop emotion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
For
for sure.
So in an ideal open relationship for me, it's
for the evening.
One and done.
I love being with partners who have multitudes because I do too.
What is multitudes?
Like maybe they're attracted to masculine people as well.
I see.
I don't
Okay.
have that, so I'm like, please
Fulfill your fantasy
fulfill
over here.
because I don't.
Because I'm not that. And I just won't be. It's like what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But that's a turn on for me. For a partner to be able to be fulfilled in that way.
Oh, so cucky. You like cucky.
But you don't want to watch.
That's true.
Cuck
So
is watching.
that's true.
Could watch, I guess.
Could watch.
Yeah, in a special circumstance.
Wouldn't mind watch.
Wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Under certain, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
just what felt right.
right.
Not
Okay.
unopen to it.
It would be like a CTT item. You know, we'd sit
CTT.
down and be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, you would debrief.
We would debrief. Lots of talking.
Yeah. You guys do chat a lot.
Yeah.
I love that for you guys. I'm really happy that you found this individual.
Me too. You've known them for longer.
That's true.
So you haven't told me any dirt yet.
They don't have it.
That's the best news.
I know.
They don't have it. They're just a genuinely lovely person.
Tippy's very real too, for Christ's sake.
I'm very happy for them and I'm happy for you. And so, at the end of the day, I do have a hard exterior, but let it be known, I love love.
You do.
I do. I love love.
You love your loved one's love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Pro whore,
Pro whore, pro love.
pro love, pro lust.
yes, I'm a lover.
You are.
Yeah. All right, Anna, why don't you say goodbye to all of your fans and tell them that you love them tenderly?
I do love you all. I don't know who you are, but I love you.
Say thank you to our haters.
Yeah.
You have some lots.
Oh, yeah, we have haters.
Oh,
Thank you, haters. Keep commenting. What was the incel's name?
Yeah, I don't know what the incel's name is.
Incel, you don't get a name, but I remember you.
And you're definitely not going to hang out with Anna.
Yeah, you're not hanging out with Anna.
I'm taken by this crowd now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm inducted.
We've imprinted her. Joel, say goodbye to our incel.
Yeah, tell the incel something.
What are they saying?
What did the
Mr.
incel
Incel
say
was like,
on live?
Oh, on live? Don't do the live. Live's stupid.
oh my God. He just wants to be
He wants to be fired.
too bad.
Joel, guess what?
You're stuck, baby.
I keep going back to the fact that you explained that your forehead was ripped off. And we're
Yes.
talking about face ripping. And I'm like, is this?
Yeah, it's a metaphor for life.
Joel.
Welcome to your new life, Joel. Okay, goodbye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.